Welcome everybody to the latest episode of Real Spill with Shyne. Shyne, it's your boy Shyne checking in with you one more time. I'm back again today to do the same thing that I do every day, try to break down news stories of today that will affect your world tomorrow. Now the first news story that I have for you today comes from out of the FBI. I have found this news story and I found it pretty doggone interesting. Top level FBI agent was escorted out the building. I'm gonna play the video and let y'all hear this.
Agent who opened Trump investigation has been escorted out of Bureau headquarters. The FBI special agent who has a track record of mishandling politically sensitive investigations has resigned and was escorted out of the Bureau's headquarters, according to reports surfacing on Monday afternoon. A senior FBI official in the Bureau's Washington field office has abruptly resigned after coming under congressional scrutiny for suspected political bias in handling the investigation of crackhead Hunter Biden's computer laptop, the Washington Times reported. The Washington Times learned that Timothy Thibault, an assistant special agent in charge, was forced to leave his post according to two former FBI officials familiar with the situation. The Times added, Mr. Thibault was seen exiting the Bureau's elevator last Friday escorted by 2 or 3 headquarters-looking types, the report said. It is unclear if Mr. Thibault, a 25-year FBI veteran who was on leave for at least a month following revelations about political statements he made while leading the Public Corruption Unit, left on his own accord or was forced out, the report added. Former Special Agent Thibault was accused of displaying bias in his handling of politically sensitive investigations, including the criminal investigation of crackhead Hunter Biden's laptop and FBI probes of former President Donald Trump, Just the News reported. Whistleblowers alleged that Thibault concealed the partisan nature of evidence from FBI Director Christopher Wray and Attorney General Merrick Garland to secure their approval to open an investigation into former President Donald Trump, the report added. That investigation culminated in the FBI's raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate earlier this month. In late May, Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Chuck Grassley, Iowa, sought Justice Department records regarding the work history of a senior FBI official following revelations of his apparent political bias on social media channels. Department guidelines require employees to avoid even the appearance of bias, which could undermine investigations or call into question the credibility of the department's work, the senator's letter said. However, Timothy Thibault, an assistant special agent in charge, a SAC, at the FBI's Washington field office engaged.
I'm gonna just stop that right there. It's not a coincidence that the Joe Rogan situation just came out where Mark Zuckerberg, that who we reported on the other day, was on Joe Rogan telling everybody how the FBI led them to squash the Hunter Biden laptop story. Now this guy comes out and he's been all about squashing that story, and man, this is a tangled web that has been woven, and boy, when it gets untangled, we're gonna have a lot of news to discuss. I go ahead and tell you that. Now we're gonna move on to the actual article that I found. It says a top-level FBI agent, Timothy Thibault, who has been under fire for his role in investigations regarding President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, resigned late last week and was walked out of the FBI. But these officials also have said that Thibault had reached retirement age, and they added that all of those who retire hand over their badge and gun and are escorted out of the building. So as of right now, we don't know for sure, it appears, whether he has resigned or whether he was walked out the door because he was fired or did he just retire. They have a way for people, once people reach a certain position, they're not going to lose their money. They have certain ways to ensure that they keep every benefit that they done work toward, whereas us in the regular everyday working class, we do the slightest little thing and they try to take our little money from us. It's hard enough for us to get any kind of retirement or any kind of job nowadays as it is. Most of them want you to put into it. You got to pay into your 401k. You got to pay into this if you want to be all right and you want to be able to live comfortably as an elderly adult in America. But these people with these positions have retirements and everything still ingrained into the fabric of their workplace. They still have these benefits available to them, and they will not lose them no matter what kind of situation they come across with. Now, I keep reading. It says the bout came under fire earlier this year from Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, who accused him of improper conduct in the Hunter Biden investigation, alleging that the bout had tried to close the probe. The probe into Hunter Biden's business practices run by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware is still ongoing. I still believe that that was smoke, that was fire when President Trump was trying to tell us about Ukraine and what Hunter Biden was doing in Ukraine. And I don't think it's a coincidence that as soon as the Ukraine got in any kind of trouble, we put on our Superman cape and ran to their defense. And these are the same people who we supposed to have been wondering if they had been given the Biden's extra money. It's like they didn't even care that they was under suspicion. They still just flooded the money over there. Take as much of our money as you can take. And you give me just a little bit of money back, man. It don't compare with the money you sent across the seas. Yeah, if we had sent that money across seas, we could have been forgiven all the student loan debts. A lot of countries, they're intelligent, they smart people that go to school for free. We're the only people that's making this thing to where it's a for-profit business. We supposed to want to educate our people, because the more educated our people are, the better off we are as a society. You got to think, when America was in its golden age, college didn't cost this much. It wasn't a fourth of your doggone income for the year that you got to send off to the school. It wasn't that. It wasn't that when America was doing great, when America was actually inventing things, when America was actually making things. Man, oh boy, let's keep on moving, man. I got another story I want to get to, but that right there is my top story today. I want y'all to really look into that, because the information is sparse, and they try to keep it away from you, and we can learn now that it's way at the top where they're trying to keep this information from you. And let's see, my next news story that I got, which is just some of the crazy news of the day. New York City has banned the sale of cans of whipped cream unless you're under the age of 21. Let me go ahead and kick y'all to this video real quick so y'all can see what I'm talking about. This coming from Fox 5 in New York.
No, you have to be 21 years old to buy alcohol and cigarettes in New York. But did you know that there is an age rule in effect when it comes to purchases of canned whipped cream as well?
Here's Matt King with details on a fairly recent law that could get you carded at the checkout for a can of Ready Whip.
At the checkout.
Whipped cream, if you're not whipping it yourself, comes in a can. And as of November of last year, to purchase a spray can of whipped cream in the state of New York requires the buyer to show an ID, proving they're 21 or older.
I love this bill.
State Senator Joseph Adabo sponsored this bill after receiving a series of complaints from his constituents.
They were seeing these canisters, like 25 or so in the street.
Those canisters appeared to originate from within whipped cream bottles.
These teenagers, mostly younger, 13, 14, popping them and sucking out the nitrous oxide for a quick high.
So-called whippets, full of the same laughing gas used by dentists, allow those inhaling them to get high.
Since this bill has become a law earlier
this
year,
New York, they're going ham.
We have gotten less complaints, actually no complaints from our constituents.
Adabo's Senate District 15 made
you buy 5 of them, I know you could have got you a little reef.
Few among the rest of us who may or may not look 21 seem to remember getting carded for whipped cream in the last year or know of this law's existence.
Never heard of such thing.
No?
Nah, man, we're not doing that down south.
We will follow up on this law throughout the year to make sure it's enforced correctly.
Adabo said he wanted more enforcement and would accept tips about stores in the state not asking for ID from customers buying canned whipped cream.
Well, you go get snitched on about your whipped cream.
Nor Wegmans nor Tops Markets responded to emails asking if their cashiers carded New York customers buying cans of whipped cream in time for this story to make air.
Man, that is crazy. Y'all up there in New York City going ham. Well, actually, you're going whipped cream on them. No. Oh, man. I didn't even know. I had heard of whippets, but I really didn't know that's what it was. I thought they came up with something new. It seemed like every year they come up with a different kind of designer type drug, and then you just never know what this new thing is or whatever. But that's what it is, man. And they're probably coming to a town that you. Cause one thing I will say that if kids are doing something in one place, they're gonna be doing it everywhere. Cause this internet, this social media age, man, it is something different. You can't keep nothing a secret no more. It appears, but when you're at certain levels, we do see that this is able to still keep secrets for a certain period of time. Now we're gonna move on to my next news story, which may contain some secrets. It may not. I don't know. But well, a former associate, colleague, I don't know what you call them, a friend, a homie of Jeffrey Epstein, another one of them has been found dead in his home. It seems like everybody that was cool with Jeffrey is ending up dead somewhere. I don't know if it's all connected, but because a lot of these people are old too now. We can't just sit here and act like these people ain't old. A lot of these people old, but everybody seems to be finding their pieces, you know what I'm saying? Let me let you hear the story. Come on, brother. Oh, he
I'm at a loss of words right now. I do not believe that this is the same person we're talking about.
Brian Belizaire, stunned to learn about the surprising past of his neighbor here on Mount Pleasant Street in Derby. The AP reports Derby police are working to confirm that Stephen Hoffenberg, the Ponzi schemer and Jeffrey Epstein mentor, was found dead in an apartment earlier this week. NBC Connecticut has not independently confirmed that.
Like completely different end of the spectrum, if you will, from the person I interacted with, from what you're saying. I mean, just seemed very humble, very quiet, very low key.
That's how you do it for years.
You know, you never know people is what.
No, that's how you do it for years.
The AP detailing the 77-year-old's efforts to once buy the New York Post and then was sentenced to 20 years in prison for one of the country's largest Ponzi schemes. He reportedly admitted to swindling investors out of $460 million. Hoffenberg later claimed Epstein was the architect of the scam, though he was never charged in the fraud. Epstein died by suicide in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on charges that he sexually abused dozens of girls. Hoffenberg was released from federal custody in 2013, and neighbors tell us he moved in here in the last year or two. Derby police say they were called for a welfare check at the apartment earlier this week.
When the cops knocked on my door saying, hey, do you know your neighbor? You know, people has been trying to get in touch with them for weeks and no answer. So that's when I knew something was wrong.
Buddy, you ain't seen your neighbor in 4 weeks and you didn't know nothing wrong for then. But yeah, man, R.I.P. to old Steven over there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh boy, it's just, it's kind of crazy how everybody that's attached to them people have seemed to have found a way to not be with us anymore. You know, some stuff you just don't want to speak on a whole lot, so you just let it be. But as y'all heard, Buddy had to swindle a lot of people out of money. You know, it seemed like that's what the people that was around the Epstein was about, which makes you want to look at everybody else, because he didn't give a damn. You know, Epstein had some of everybody. He didn't care if you had money because you was a crook, or you had money because you got it the right way. He didn't care how you got money. As long as you got money, you can come on over here and play on the island. But man. But you have to think about some of that Pizzagate stuff that people was talking about was not true. And you just never know, man. You just never really know. And people get silent. He did do his time and was able to come home. Like I said, he was an old guy, 77 years old. May not be no foul play involved in that. Cause most of these people know to keep their mouth closed. You know, it ain't no situation where you be worried about people exposing the truth, because people already know what's gonna come behind that. Now, my next story, which is crazy again, I got another crazy story that they just keep popping up. This woman right here, this woman drives for nearly a half an hour before discovering she got a semi-naked person in her back seat. Before I get into the story, I want to go ahead and advise everybody. I just don't get this. I don't get how people are getting out their car and leaving children in the car, and I don't see how people getting in their car and they ain't looking around their car. Like you don't look in the back seat before you get in the car. Like, you don't check things out before you get in the car. You're supposed to do a check of your car before you get in the drive. That will stop you from getting pulled over for tail lights. That'll stop you from getting pulled over for tag lights. Cause you will know you're supposed to do a check of your car before you get in it and drive it. And in today's society, it's more imperative than ever before to get out there and be vigilant and be safe, man. Get you some mace. Charles White need to sell his own mace, cause that joker done put me on. I thought mace was some old. I ain't thought mace would work, tell you the truth. I done told my baby girls I'm getting y'all pistols because I don't trust the mace. But Charles and White got Soldier Boy and 12 other dudes to get the hell on with some mace. And so I made a believe out of me. I watched the video, made a believe out of me. Now the unnamed woman drove 30 miles from Providence to her workplace in Easton on Sunday night without knowing that a semi-naked stranger was asleep in the back of her car. Authorities responded to the woman's 911 call and arrived at a parking lot at around midnight Monday to find a man asleep on the floor in the rear of her Chevrolet Tahoe. Thankfully, the woman involved was not injured. The man, identified as Jose Osorio, was partially clothed with a pair of shorts around one leg and a shirt wrapped around one arm, leaving the rest of his body uncovered. Man, Buddy hadn't got fucked up. He didn't know who car he was in. He was just trying to find him a nice little spot to just get a few minutes of Z's. That's all he was trying to do. But just on the safety issue, no jokes, all jokes aside, y'all please check your surroundings. It's important, it's imperative. I want everybody out there to be safe, and I want everybody to be able to make it home, make it to wherever you're trying to go every single day. Just be safe out there, y'all. All right, we're getting close to the end of the show, man. I enjoyed myself with y'all today. I do want to get to the 10th law of power. I wasn't able to get to it yesterday, so I do want to go ahead and get to it today, man. It's been a good show with you guys, and I enjoyed myself today. Let's go ahead and get off into the 10th law of power so I can get out of here. Hold on, man. It don't appear that thing playing like I want it to. Hold on. I do apologize for that. Let's go ahead and hit it real quick.
And unlucky. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you're helping the drowning man, but you're only precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune on themselves. They will also draw it on you. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. The infector possesses an inward instability that radiates outward, drawing disaster to all that they touch. Mary Gilbert, aka Lola Montez of Ireland, was one such person. Lola found herself in the role of a courtesan, prostitute of the royal court. In today's society, Lola would be considered a gold digger. She only sought out men with high social standing in the community that she could use for her own gain. Once she would have her hooks in these men, their slow demise began. One of her victims was King Ludwig of Bavaria, who felt compelled to help Lola. Yet once he was warned of the dangers of his affair with her, he could not seem to resist Lola's aura and almost found his once peaceful country in a state of civil war. It was not until then that the king finally ordered Lola to leave, but a month after she left, King Ludwig was forced to relinquish his throne. There are many men who suffered because of their association with Lola Montez. King Ludwig said that he was bewitched by Lola. Lola was an unstable, incurable, and infectious character type. This is not to say that these characteristics are only restricted to women. This is to say that there are some people whose emotions are so powerful that they infect the very soul of the people that they touch. How to recognize an infector? They draw misfortune upon themselves. They have a turbulent past. They have a long line of broken relationships. They have an unstable career. They have a forceful character that sweeps you up and makes you lose reason. They have a desire to destroy and unsettle, and is chronically dissatisfied. They have great effect on the world around them. And what...
I want y'all to take that note right there and apply it to your life, and take the time out to go and watch the whole entire video. You can learn a lot from it. I enjoyed my time with y'all today. I hope that everybody enjoyed their time watching the show. You know, we're going to be glad to be back with you again tomorrow. God bless every one of y'all. I love every one of y'all. Please hit the like button, follow, share, and subscribe, man. I'm out. Lego.